Hi everyone, and welcome to today's Yin Yoga class to calm anxiety. We will be holding each pose for about 1 to 1.5 minutes, and we're going to begin in a comfortable seated position, resting the hands comfortably on the knees or in the lap, and bringing awareness to the breath, just noticing the natural rhythm of the breath without changing it for now. And as we're seated here, begin to increase the breath, expanding the belly, and letting the breath go, exhaling fully. And if you'd like, repeating internally throughout this practice, and maybe right now, a quote by Louise Hay. I am in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. I am in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. With your next exhale, letting the shoulders soften down the back. And preparing for movement here, bringing soles of the feet together, knees apart. And we're going to be coming forward into a butterfly pose. So on an exhale, releasing the upper body forward, rounding through the back. And arms are either on the legs or walking those hands slightly ahead of you, wherever you are. Finding space through the back body, completely relaxing the head and neck down. Allowing the eyes to soften. Breathing in space to the back body. On your next inhale, begin to roll the spine back up, head and neck coming up last. And then walking those hands behind you, feet to about hip or wider distance. And windshield wipering the legs side to side, releasing the hips. If you'd like, looking over opposite shoulder. On your next few breaths, coming back to center, extending the legs out wide to a position that's accessible for you to come into a wide-legged forward fold. Checking in that the feet are opening up instead of rounding forward. So if you need to, shortening that stance between the legs. Relaxing the upper body forward, maybe stacking fists. Or if you have a few blocks, resting the forehead there. Softening the jaw. Maybe keeping a small bend in the knees here. And staying here for about 4 more full belly breaths. On your next inhale, begin to slowly walk the hands in. Once again, head and neck coming up last. Bring the hands under the knees and gently pulling the legs in. Taking your time, making your way to all fours knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. And coming into a few cat-cows. Moving at a pace that you'd like here. If you'd like, adding some barrel rolls or moving in any other way that feels good for you. As you're ready, keeping those knees under the hips, walking hands forward into puppy pose or heart melting pose. Resting forehead on the mat. Lengthening through the sides of the body. Spreading the fingers wide. And resting here. Maybe coming back to that affirmation. I'm in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. Being present here. On your next few breaths, begin to walk those hands back in and preparing yourself for Pigeon Pose with the right knee behind the right wrist, flexing the foot, walking that back foot behind you, squaring the hips, and then making your way forward, if you can, resting forehead, maybe on a block or the forearms, or maybe all the way on the mat. Wherever you are, finding a space where you can find an opening through that hip without any pain in the knee. If there's any knee pain, coming into a reclined, thread the needle. Breathing space into that hip. On your next few breaths, once again walking hands back into the body, tucking back toes under, making your way back to all fours. And maybe swaying the hips side to side or front and back here, just adding a little bit of movement. Whenever you're ready, coming into Pigeon Pose on the opposite side, left knee behind the left wrist. Flexing that foot, sinking the hips down, squaring them to the mat, finding a breath here, and then making your way forward, releasing the head and neck, resting the forehead, breathing in space into that hip. Once again, if you find any knee pain here, coming into that reclined, thread the needle. As you're ready in your next few breaths, Once again, walking hands towards the body, tucking that back toe under as you come back into an all fours position. If you'd like, once again, maybe swaying the hips side to side or front and back, creating some circles if you'd like. And then carefully coming all the way on to your back, arriving there at your own time. Placing the feet on the mat, extending the legs out, hugging that left knee towards the chest, and on an exhale, twisting it over to the right side of the mat. Maybe staying there, or catching hold of that opposite foot in a cat tail, hugging shoulders to the mat, and looking over that opposite shoulder. So if the left knee is over to the right, looking over left shoulder. Breathing here. If you're holding on to that right foot, maybe give yourself a little massage in the sole of the foot with the thumb, pressing on some points. And then releasing the leg back out, hugging both knees into the chest, maybe rocking side to side. And then releasing the left leg long, exhaling the right knee over to the left side, maybe catching hold of the opposite foot, looking over that right shoulder, hugging shoulders to the mat. Once again, if you're holding onto that back foot, maybe pressing into the foot with the thumb, releasing any tension through the foot. As you're ready, if you're holding onto that back foot, releasing the leg here, twisting back to center, hugging both knees into the chest, and maybe taking a gentle rock side to side, massaging the back body. Rubbing onto the feet and making your way into happy baby. Soles of the feet towards the sky, knees bent at your sides, hugging low back towards the mat, growing long through the back of the neck, taking full belly breaths. In your next few breaths, releasing the feet and taking your time to come into our final resting pose, or Shavasana pose. If you'd like to make any other movements before going into Shavasana, feel free to do so. And then whenever you're ready, extending those legs, feet at hip distance or wider. Arms by your sides, palms face up, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Spending a few quiet moments here, checking in with how you're feeling. Maybe coming back to that affirmation. I am in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. Settling here, knowing that when it's time, I will guide you back. In your next few breaths, maybe wiggling the fingers and toes, or maybe gently rocking the head side to side. And then inhale, reaching that right arm overhead, bending the knees, and rolling onto your side using the arm as a pillow. Taking a few moments here. As you're ready, using that left hand, pressing yourself up, coming back into a comfortable seated position. Bringing palms together in front of the chest, thanking yourself for showing up to this practice. Taking a deep inhale, and as you exhale, bowing forward. Namaste.